Hello viewers, in this video, I'm going to explain full outer join, right? Please listen carefully. Full outer join is not supported in MySQL. So we are using MySQL for this training purposes. So I just want to highlight again, in MySQL, full outer join is not supported. Is it very popular at your job? No, it's not a popular join that you'll be using. However, it's good to learn and understand the functionality, right? So if you're using any other database other than MySQL, for example, Postgres, MySQL Server, Oracle, whatnot all, right? Teradata, whatnot all, you will have this full outer join as a keyword. So what this full outer join does is it returns the records from both the tables, right? Respective whether they satisfy the join condition or not, right? So so you can see the outliers from both the tables, the books that have authors and the authors that have authors and not have authors, and also authors that have books but also doesn't have books published, right? So it's vice versa. So this keyword is very important, and you will be using in place of left outer join, inner join, or right outer join, similar to that. However, like I said, again, I want to repeat, full outer joins doesn't exist in MySQL, right? So there are alternatives we can use, right? So before I jump onto the alternative approach, I want to make sure there is a functionality within MySQL that's called cross join. Do not use it at your job no matter what, right? People lose their jobs for using such a SQLs. And why I'm still sharing this is because it's a keyword that exists within MySQL. It is offered by MySQL, but do not use this, right? Like again, I want to repeat, you will lose your job, right? Which so what it does is a cross join has pretty much has a no join condition, right? If you observe here, there's no condition at all. There's no join condition. Basically, it says from table A cross join table B. That's it. So which means it's a Cartesian product, which means every book, whether they're written by author or not, doesn't matter. They just Cartesian join on every record to record, right? For example, book 1 is actually written by author 6, but it doesn't care. Cross join is doesn't care. It just relates book 1 to author 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whether it does not consider any of the join condition there because we haven't provided any join condition, right? So hence, it's pretty much a Cartesian join at this point. I would leave it here. Please do not use this, right? This is a feature available in MySQL, okay? So just moving on, alternative approaches for full outer join in MySQL. The first one is union, right? And you can ask me, I have, if you haven't seen my videos about union and union all, please watch those videos before watching this full outer join, functionality within MySQL. I highly recommend. And also please listen to me carefully because I'm not gonna repeat this functionality with other examples downstream, right? So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a left outer join that I have discussed in the in my previous videos, where books is doing a left outer join on authors on author ID equal to author ID. So if I actually execute this, I'll get a SQL where it displays all the books and whether there is a relationship with authors or not. And if there's no relationship with authors, it just displays nulls for the authors, right? So it displays all the books who does whether they have a author or not, right? Right outer join where it displays all the authors whether they have a relationship with the books or not, right? So if you execute this SQL, so it's gonna display the authors even though they don't have a relationship with books, right? So basically that's what it is. So now we are going to use union. What is this union, right? The union operator, we call it as one of the operators within SQL, and it is universally can be used in other SQL databases as well. So union, what it does is, first of all, it checks whether the displayed records are similar on both these SQLs. Treat these two SQLs as separate SQLs, right? And these two SQLs are connected by the operator called union, right? So this SQL, the outcome of this SQL that you display and this SQL must be identical, right? So that is the primary criteria. And then what this union does is it takes the outcome of the first SQL and the second SQL, identifies any of duplicates, right? For example, this SQL might have some overlapping display records with second SQL, and it'll mix and it'll match them side by side and eradicate all the duplicates, right? So if there is duplicate records from both the SQLs, it will just combine them into one and display most unique records as a display, right? So if you observe here, if I execute this, so what this does is it is going to display all the books, whether they have author or not, right? If they have an author, they'll display the author details. If they don't have author, then it will display null values in the author side, right? And also vice versa. It will also display the authors which who haven't published a book yet, right? So in one SQL, in a single shot, you can actually analyze which books are there in your database, but accidentally their authors are not recorded, right? And in the same way, you got authors in your contract, but they haven't published any books yet, right? So in one SQL, you can pretty much analyze your books database basically. This is an alternative way of achieving this. The reason why at your work you don't use union a lot, I'll tell you. Union, because it does this deduplication of records, like verify the records for duplicates and merge them and all that. It takes some processing, SQL processing, right? So usually unions are much more costly on your database than union all, right? So in most cases at your job, you will try to avoid using union and always use union all. What is union all, right? So union all pretty much the functionality is the same, except for it doesn't care for the duplicates, right? So it'll display as is, right? So for example, it'll take all the data from the first query, all the data from second query, and it'll display, as and when. It's not going to check for dupes or and all, right? It's up to you to filter out the dupes record, which I'm going to show you shortly, right? Before going to this condition right here, I'm going to just execute the first one right here. And if you observe here, the very first SQL displays all the 16 books, right? Again, whether they have authors or not, right? So this is your first query right here. This query is your first query. The first 16 books, whether they have an author or not, it's going to display. Now it goes to the second query, right? Which is this, right? From here again, right? If you observe. So book one, this record is an exact replica of this, right? In the past SQL, where you used union, it recognized row number 1 here and row number 17 here, and because those are identical records, it's gonna merge them, right? Union all doesn't do that. It just displays them as a duplicate record. It doesn't matter for it, right? So what it does is it displays it, and from 17 onwards, it's the second SQL, like I said, and it's going to display all the books because we are using right outer join. It's going to display all the authors, irrespective whether they have any books published or not, right? So that's what the right outer join does, right? So now to make the outcome of this SQL similar to this one, what you're going to do is you're going to add a clause where condition where book ID is null. When you do that, what happens is automatically it will take out all the duplicate values that exist within the SQL here, right? So that's the beauty of it. So try it out and see. There are a number of ways of taking out dupe records as well, but this is the best way that you have that you can use to take out all the dupe values, right? So if you observe here now, the outcome of this SQL now is exactly same as this SQL, right? Again, practice, and I'll leave out the sample data in the description, so you can also use that sample data to create your tables and put in data in there and practice the SQLs, right? Okay, coming to the don't do this. Please watch my previous videos, and you'll understand why I'm asking not to write SQLs without an alias in front of it. Again, I'm just duplicating the SQLs above, put the columns in there without alias names, and it's going to fail, right? So if I try to execute this guy, it's going to fail with ambiguity because author ID exists in both books and authors table, and this SQL doesn't know from which table it needs to pick up author ID, right? So that's the reason you need to use aliases here and display the right records. So for example, if I use union and only select the columns that I intended to display, and here you can see all the books that whether they have author or not, they're going to be displayed, and also the authors who never published the books will be displayed as well. Same thing in here. If you just use union all without this condition, where clause condition, you can see that all the books, whether they have author or not, will be displayed as your first output. And the second output start from 17, where all the authors, whether they published book or not, they will be displayed on as part of the second SQL. But the minute you add this where clause in here, it's more of a logical thing. So you need to understand it, why I put this condition logically as well. So the only way you to do it is put this data side by side, see it, why I'm doing this for you to understand. And if you have any questions, please use the comment section. Happy to help you as well. So if when I execute this, the output of because of this where clause, the output of this SQL now is pretty much similar to the first SQL. Again, if you have any questions about union and union all, please watch those corresponding videos to understand individual features separately. Thank you for watching this video. Practice.